In this video, we take a look at a simple type of loop available in Knime Analytics Platform, a counting loop. This loop repeats a task a fixed number of times. The task might be to calculate the first n terms in the Fibonacci sequence, to create a timestamp for each month within 1 year, or anything else you might think of that requires repeating the same task a predefined number of times. A counting loop is the equivalent to a for cycle in most programming languages. In Knime, this type of loop begins with the counting loop start node. This node passes the input data unaltered to the loop body a fixed number of times as defined by the number of loops setting in its configuration dialog. In addition, the counting loop start node, like all other loop start nodes, produces a numerical flow variable that corresponds to the index of the current iteration. Let's take a look at an example of a counting loop. This workflow builds 12 timestamps representing the 15th day of each month in 2020. The math formula node calculates the month number based on the index of the current iteration. The string manipulation node constructs the timestamp from the month number and the columns in the input data. We use the table creator node to provide the input data, that is, the unaltered values for each iteration, which are the day 15 and year 2020 in our case. We define the number of iterations in the configuration dialog of the counting loop start node. Because we want to generate a timestamp for each month of the year, we set the number of loops to 12. Next, let's take a look at how to calculate the month number that increases in each iteration. In the configuration dialog of the math formula node, we find the current iteration flow variable here in the flow variable list panel. This flow variable always starts from 0. We add it to the expression editor and finish the expression by writing +1. This expression produces the month number, 1 for the first iteration, 2 for the second, and so on. We want to show this number in a new integer column called month, so we check append column, write month here in this field, and check the convert to int option. Checking the output table of the math formula node, we see the number 1 in the month column because this is the first iteration. Next, we want to combine the year, month, and day values into one timestamp with the string manipulation node. In its configuration dialog, we write this join function that combines the values from the columns into a single string. Notice that only strings can be joined by this function, so we need to nest these two string functions inside it, which changes numeric columns to strings, for some quick type conversion. In the output of the string manipulation node, we see the newly generated timestamp in the date column. Before we can run the loop, we need to close it. Here, we use the loopIn node that collects the data from the different iterations row-wise. Once the loopIn node is executed, we can inspect the output. The output of the loopIn node shows the result of 12 iterations, the unaltered input columns, the month column with values from 1 to 12, and the date column with values from the 15th of January to the 15th of December in 2020. The iteration column shows which iteration generated which month and timestamp. In this video, we've shown how to build a simple counting loop. A counting loop executes the task defined in the loop body a predefined number of times. The index of the current iteration can be used in the node configurations inside the loop body. One option to end the counting loop is to collect the results row-wise with the loopIn node.